Hi everyone. Now many of you will be familiar with St Ouen's Pond and the incredible reed bed and wet woodland, wet meadow and dune grassland habitats that surround it. But what some of you might not realise is the nature reserve actually extends across the 5 Mile Road all the way to the promenade on the top of the seawall. This area is known as the coastal strip, and it's every bit as important as the rest of the nature reserve. This is demonstrated by the fact that it too is afforded the highest levels of protection, being a designated site of special ecological interest and falling within the national park boundary. Now the portion of coastal strip adjacent to the seawall supports plants that are able to tolerate the salt spray and salty water that splashes over in gales and during high tides. Those plants that are able to survive in these harsh conditions form a narrow band of strandline and saltmarsh habitat. Moving inland, the impact of seawater is reduced and the saltmarsh community merges into the adjacent dune grassland, which continues on the other side of the 5 Mile Road. The rich flora in turn supports diverse invertebrate communities. For example, surveys undertaken in this section of coastal strip has turned up 125 different species of beetles, bugs, ants and grasshoppers. These invertebrates in turn support reptiles such as green lizards, small mammals such as shrews and bank voles, as well as a diverse community of birds. Now I imagine that many of you will be far less familiar with the plants that make up these habitats than you are with, say, the orchids that grow in the orchid fields across the road. I'm also mindful that many members of our community have been going through a really challenging time lately as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. And we've actually got really strong scientific evidence that spending time in nature has enormous benefits in terms of reducing stress and anxiety. And it really does provide an immense opportunity for a bit of psychological restoration, which I think we could all do with at the moment. So with all that in mind, I thought I'd set you a challenge. Now in a minute you're going to see clips of 10 plants that grow in the coastal strip between the White House and Sands. And after you've watched the video, I'd love for you to come here, take a walk along the footpath and see how many of those plants you can identify for yourselves. Now, all the plant species featured so far have been exactly the ones that you'd expect to find in high quality habitat. But our last plant, the purple dewplant, is different. Also known by a variety of other vernacular names, including round-leaved pigface and jellybean, purple dewplant is an invasive garden escape originally from South Africa. It grows in sunny positions on poor sandy soil, and it's able to tolerate lots of salt spray. It forms dense, spreading carpets and readily outcompetes native plants. And this is why non-native invasive plants are such an enormous problem. Now, native plants and animals have co-evolved together over millions of years, and over that vast expanse of evolutionary time, complex and intricate networks of interactions between those species have developed. Now, when a plant from another part of the world turns up and invades, it causes enormous disruption to these interaction networks, which all too often has dire consequences for biodiversity. We're currently trialling a couple of different methods to control the spread of purple dewplant and hopefully eradicate it from the nature reserve in the not too distant future. The first involves pulling it up by hand. Now, this is extremely time and labour intensive, but fortunately the Trust Lands team have been able to call upon the help of some very eager volunteer groups in recent years. Now, when removing it by hand, you have to be extremely careful because it's actually able to regrow from any little fragments of stem that become detached. So we very carefully remove it and then load it into bags to be taken off site and disposed of safely. The other method we're trialling involves using a foam stream machine, which is a herbicide-free approach to controlling unwanted vegetation by applying a hot biodegradable foam. Last year we marked World Ranger Day by working in partnership with the Government of Jersey Rangers to treat this area of purple dewplant with the foam stream machine. As you can see, it's killed off some of it. The problem is that the parts of the plant which survive will shoot and grow back. So it's quite clear that controlling this plant is going to involve an enormous amount of effort over a number of years. And it's tough conservation challenges like this, which is why your support is so vital to us. So there's some coastal plants to look out for next time you come to St Ouen's Bay for a stroll. While you're here, in addition to the plants, be sure to look out for other wildlife as well. As I've been walking along the footpath, I've seen loads of bees buzzing around, beetles and other invertebrates. I keep hearing the rustling of green lizards, and there's even a skylark up there singing away as well. So there's loads to see. Just before I go, just a quick reminder to please stick to the paths and give other visitors plenty of space as well, just so that everyone can enjoy this special place safely. And with that, I'd just like to say thank you for watching and thank you for supporting our conservation work.